Hi, my name is Jamin Goecker. I'm a realtor in South Central Alaska, and my mission is to help you to build an intentional and significant legacy for yourself and your family by coaching you in real estate. And today what we're going to be talking about are the best ways to lose money when you're selling a property in Alaska. So this is unfortunately something that I see all too often, and I sure hope you haven't made any of these in the past. So we'll go and jump into that in just a second. But before we get started, if you haven't done so already, do give this video a like, do subscribe if you haven't done so already. And let's go and jump into today's topic. The first thing that people do to lose money when they're selling real estate up here is not having strong negotiating skills. And really what negotiating skills means is just understanding the situation in which you're operating and how best to use the current environment to your advantage. That's really what negotiations is. It is not about these clownish scenes that you see on TV with execs yelling and storming around. That's just not reality. So just understand the reality of what is going on in the moment, in the market that you're in, with the specific house, and how best to use that to your advantage. And not, as some I'm also going to say, not getting too greedy and trying to overextend yourself, because that's also a huge negotiating mistake I see that has actually cost people good deals, and they lost the deal because of that and then had to settle for something else. So make sure that you have strong negotiating skills. Number two, what this is just make sure you price the house to where it needs to be up front. Now, this might be a little counterintuitive where you might think, well, hold on now, if we're trying to get more for the property, shouldn't we want to, like if it's really worth about $400,000, shouldn't we try to price it $410,000, $415,000 just to see, if we might have to come down, we can at that point? Well, you can. The problem is it's going to put you at a disadvantage. And the reason for that is in a normal market it's going to start out there and it's usually just going to be crickets, or you're not going to have a whole lot of attention for it. And then eventually you'll have to bring it down, but by the time you do, you might have to come down further than you could have started at. Where you could have gotten 400 before had you started there and would have had multiple people interested. Now you're going to have to come down closer to about 395, 390 just to get attention again. So not pricing it to where it needs to be right off the get-go can actually cost you money. I know that's counterintuitive, but that's just the fact of the matter. The next thing that people do to lose money when they're selling properties in Alaska is not staying on top of the deadlines with their paperwork. Now, what I mean by this is there are going to be some very specific dates as you're moving through a transaction that are very significant. And this is typically going to be the due diligence, not always, but typically going to be something like that. So make sure that you really stay on top of those, because if you lose sight of them, it can really come back to bite you and cost you money just from staying in a deal it would have been better for you to have jettisoned out while you had the opportunity. So stay on top of the deadlines with the paperwork. I know it sounds mundane, it sounds boring, but this is the game that we're in, and these are the rules we play by, and that's why we stay on top of it. Number four, not staging the house as well as it needs to be. In some hot markets you can get away with it, but even if you can get away with it, doesn't mean you're making as much as you could if the property was properly staged. And by that I don't mean something crazy elaborate, but what I am talking about is just something at its bare bone basics, very simple. Make sure it's picked up, make sure the clutter is at a minimum, surfaces and stuff like that are cleaned off. Preferably pictures are taken off of the walls just so people can feel more at home when they're walking into your home. They don't feel like they're invading your personal space. And really just making sure things are clean and look like they're in good order, okay? Just imagine you're having guests over, which you are, and that's really kind of what you're going for. You don't have to stress too much about this, but we have an issue when people are coming in and having to step over a bunch of toys and debris and stuff like that. So just make sure things are well maintained and well staged, and you'll be okay. Let's take a quick break here. Do you have any ideas or any topics you would like to see covered in future videos? If you do, please make sure you post those in the comments section down below so I know best how to direct the content on this channel to make sure it serves your needs the best. So please make sure you do that. Now let's go and jump back into today's video. The fifth thing I see people do that costs some money is not getting professional photos. I should not have to say this anymore. We are, 2021, and digital is way more important than it's ever been, and a big part of your digital presence is making sure you have strong professional photos that pop. And by that, I mean that not only does the angle have to be right, but the equipment and the editing skills. I'm not talking about going in and putting pools or anything crazy like that in with the Photoshop, but I am saying a professional editor is going to know exactly the color that you need to have that's going to make it pop and stand out. It is mind-boggling to me that this is even something we have to talk about. It's only a couple $100, and it's going to make your property look so much better. You can get away with it if you're in a really hot market, but again, getting away with it and maximizing what you can get, two completely different things. So just get professional photos. Number next is not disclosing information about repairs that need to be done to the property or issues that you know that need to be taken care of. And how this catches up with you is eventually they're going to find out about it, and if they figure out that you potentially try to conceal something from them, guess what? They have the grounds to come back and sue you. That's how that's going to cost you. So it's against the law. Don't hide stuff. Moving on. Number 8 is not carefully reviewing the bill of sale. Now keep in mind, when I'm working with somebody and we create the bill of sale ahead of time, I will go through there and put every item in there that the seller wants to have go with the property. But occasionally buyers will go and create their own bill of sale and slip it in there and put some other stuff in there that we might not have included on ours. So review the bill of sale and make sure there's nothing included on there that shouldn't be on there, that you're not willing to sell with the house. Okay? So review the bill of sale. The next thing I see that the sellers do that really does cost them money sometimes is not getting a home warranty. I know everyone thinks, oh, this is only going to cost me money and it's just not worth it. It's extra $400 or $500 and I might as well not. But here's the thing, the home warranty actually covers the house while it's still in contract. And this can really save you some money if some repairs come up they need to be taken care of, and the home warranty actually covers it. For instance, some clients of mine, they did pay for the home warranty. By the way, you don't have to pay for the home warranty if and when, only until and if it closes. Okay, so you're not paying this up front, it comes out of closing. So if the deal falls apart, and it's no hurt, no foul. But with these folks, they paid for a home warranty. They were the sellers, okay? They were the sellers, and the hot water tank needed to be replaced. And so we're able to take that warranty and apply it to the hot water heater, the hot water tank, to just get it replaced. That replacement would have cost roughly about $1,400. So it ended up saving my folks about $1,000. That's not always going to happen, obviously. But if it's something most buyers are going to be asking for anyway, and it's something a lot of loan programs are requiring anyway, why not offer it and use it as a marketing piece anyway? That's all I'm saying. You know what? Here's a bonus tip. And make sure that you review all of the documents you get from title, especially the preliminary title report. Sometimes you find liens on there and you find weird stuff that shouldn't be on there. For instance, I had a client just a couple months ago, really rock solid, marriage for the past 30 plus years, and there was a lien on there for like $27,000 for child support for a child that did not exist. It was purely a clerical mistake that was on there. If that had not been caught, guess what? We would have paid a whopping $27,000 to who knows who. So make sure you review all that stuff that gets sent over, because sometimes there are mistakes and it's my job as a realtor to catch all that stuff, and it's also your job as a consumer to stay on top of that stuff as well. So these have been my tips to make sure that you don't lose money when you're trying to sell your property, that you can in fact maximize how much you can get on the property while selling it. There's a lot more that goes into it. These are just kind of rules of thumb. So if you'd like to talk more, definitely feel free to reach out to me through my Facebook page. Link for that is going to be in the description section down below. You want to check out my podcast, Alaskan Journey, where I interview really interesting Alaskans living here on the last frontier and their stories. Check out the link in the description section down below. And I sure hope this has been useful, and we'll talk to you next time.